All right. Hello, everybody. Good. Please take your seats. Hi, everybody. My name is Reggie Panaligan. I am the Enterprise GM at Haus Analytics. We're excited to be here today. At Haus Analytics, what we do is we are a leading marketing, measurement, and experimentation platform that allows brands of all sizes, from emerging D2C brands all the way up to Fortune 100 companies, understand the incrementality of their media. I am joined today by a great friend and a former colleague at Google, Egan Brinkman. Egan, would you like to introduce yourself?
Absolutely. My name is Egan Brinkman. I'm the managing director of our commerce organization on the West Coast. And what that means is I work with over 2,000 partners through leading their marketing and media strategy with Google. I work with amazing companies like Elf Beauty or Our Place. I've been at Google for about 15 years. And what I'm excited about is that measurement is sort of the foundation that all of my media and marketing strategies come back to. Excited to share more about what we learned and be here as part of the OpenHaus conversation.
There it is. Yeah. Look, measurement and incrementality, if folks have kind of walked around or have heard a few talks, even recently there was a talk on creativity at the new market stage that actually evolved into much more of a measurement discussion. And so it is very much a hot topic. Incrementality at Haus, what we believe with incrementality is that, advanced measurement can take many forms, right? Attribution, media mix modeling. Those two are often very correlative. The incrementality is really the only way that you can understand the true causal impact of your media to outcomes. I'm curious, Egan, how does Google think about incrementality?
So it's definitely something some of originally our most advanced partners were leveraging. And a couple of years ago, we developed our own first-party incrementality tools and solutions. We call them Conversion Lift. And we have two formats, either user-based or geo-based. It allows you to run incrementality experiments across any of your Google Media or campaign strategies. So it allows you to isolate with more precision the ROI of any of our AI platforms, from search all the way up to YouTube. And what I'm finding is that incrementality a couple of years ago was something, the most sophisticated partners were using, and now it's become sort of an industry benchmark. That advanced measurement is sort of core to helping you isolate and get clarity on the ROI of any of your media investments. So we've seen a huge use case in those, and also why the emergence of third-party platforms like Haus have been critical to help partners take what is a pretty complicated measurement strategy and make it scalable, effective, and give you the clarity you need to sort of invest your next dollar, and also learn how your media is performing. Because I think for me, one of the most effective things is that when media is seen as an iterative and a learning process as opposed to a binary decision making, right? How do I make whatever I'm doing that much more effective and efficient? How can I learn as opposed to simply turn it on, turn it off?
Yeah, that makes sense. You talk about measurement and it becoming more ubiquitous across your clients, and incrementality being a major focus for Google, as it is for many brands. When I talk to brands and platforms, what I often see is that it's still a focus, but there's a wide variety of folks who get it and are able to do it, and also a wide variety of folks who are still sort of starting that measurement and incrementality journey. And the fact is, it's hard. It's really hard. And I think it's harder for, it's harder to measure, in particular, top of funnel, mid funnel, type of platforms that are not click-based, like YouTube. And when I worked at Google, before coming to Haus, I always thought that advertisers, viewed YouTube as, they undervalued the platform, or they didn't necessarily understand it. I'm curious why you think that is.
I think that's true, particularly for growth marketers. I think you have a host of partners who are very focused on traditional brand measurement, right? Reach, frequency. I think there's some level of ease and there's a heavy reliance on YouTube in that segment. But for growth marketers who are looking potentially for ROI out of the gate, I think that measurement challenge has definitely been there. What's interesting is we find in our own data that YouTube is the #1 platform where consumers go to do product reviews and compare different products. We also find that 98% of consumers actually trust the guidance of YouTube creators over social platforms. So we know that the consumer intent is there, but clearly there's a measurement gap where a lot of these partners are struggling to isolate the ROI of running on YouTube.
Yeah. So let's talk about that measurement gap.
Okay.
And the reason I invited you here today, we at Haus, we produced a research report very recently. We took a look at 190 YouTube incrementality tests that we ran across 74 brands, and we had some really interesting findings. I know you have read the report very intently. Did anything surprise you from that report?
I'm jokingly, I think I'm going to tattoo 3.42 incrementality factor somewhere, maybe on my forehead. I don't know. We're in Vegas. But that was a wonderful, I don't want to say it was a surprise, but I think an affirmation of what I've seen. So the fact that you saw that YouTube had a 3.42 incrementality factor for D2C reinforces a lot of what we've seen internally. Internally, we actually have been able to measure that YouTube generates a 2.3 long-term ROAS higher than social platforms. So that's the data that we've seen. But to have a third party reinforce the incredible incrementality that it does, and the fact that candidly we're underreporting was incredibly powerful.
Yeah. I think they're giving away free tattoos at the booths over there. So if you want to get that 3.42x,
what do you think,
42x,
right there?
Mike Tyson style, I like it. So just for folks to really understand what that 3.42 incrementality factor really means, because I know, again, there's a range of education on what incrementality is. What we found at Haus is that Google is actually, the ROAS that you're reporting is actually 70% lower than the actual impact to direct to consumer sales that we observe. And so, you know, the ROAS, again, your advertisers should be multiplying that ROAS by 3.4 if they want to understand the full impact of YouTube's media, which again, I'm sure is music to your ears and cause for a tattoo. Another really interesting stat, you work with a lot of omni-channel brands, correct?
I do. Yeah, 50% of my partners are omni-channel.
Yeah, so what we found was we at Haus have the ability to also measure not just the D2C or .com impact of media platforms, but also the impact that those platforms have on Amazon sales or even retail wholesale sales. When we factored that the retail and Amazon piece of the puzzle, what we found was that there's actually an increased impact across the board for our omni-channel clients who are testing YouTube of 99%, meaning YouTube is actually driving double on top of the D2C sales when you factor in those two platforms.
And again, our internal data shows this. We actually found that 73% of online consumer purchase journeys are touched by YouTube. That's the breadth of influence that it has. So it makes a ton of sense. But again, I think our ability and the conservative nature and our visibility into conversion reporting has been limited by comparison. And so I think this is just illuminates and hopefully gives people the confidence to recognize the platform is just like an exceptional opportunity to grow your business.
Yeah. I promise I have one more stat for you.
Okay.
So at Haus, we have the ability to break out the contribution of sales by new customers and existing customers. We connect into the back end data of our brands.
Yeah.
And what we found was really interesting about YouTube is that it is a huge driver of new customer acquisition.
Yeah.
What we found was that you break out the total sales, 76% of new customer acquisition was driven by YouTube, or YouTube rather. Let me rephrase that. YouTube drove 76% of new customer acquisition sales.
I love it. 83% of global consumers come to YouTube every day. Your audience is on YouTube, and it's a great way to get in front of them. I love it.
Yeah. Now the problem is, so let's talk about the issues here, right?
Okay, that's true.
Because if all of this is true, everyone would be spending.
Why isn't everybody on YouTube?
Yeah,
Fair.
It's a very difficult platform to strategize for.
Yeah.
There's a lot of challenges that customers face,
Yeah.
that you guys face. So tell me a little bit about how advertisers should be thinking about developing a YouTube strategy.
I think when folks are leaning into YouTube, there are typically three areas that they struggle with, and it often results in inaccurate campaign structure and outcomes for their business. So first is creative. I think a lot of people will be using either repurpose creative from other platforms like TV that aren't purpose-built or edited to the best practices. Second is they're often setting the wrong KPIs, depending on what sort of campaign type. So if sales are what you're trying to drive, it really matters about the frequency of purchase, the average order value, those components. And so sometimes there's a misalignment of KPI setting and the outcome they expect. And then finally, candidly, they don't set the right measurement foundation. They don't have a clear hypothesis of what they're trying to drive and have built really a measurement strategy that they feel confident will deliver against their outcomes. So one of those three is typically where people fall down.
Yeah, gotcha. I'm curious, there's folks in the audience, a show of hands, who feels confident in their YouTube strategy?
So the opposite of 100%.
That's literally 0%.
So we have some work to do, is what you're telling me.
This is a good opportunity. So for folks who are looking to get started,
Yeah.
In their first foray with YouTube, what are some tips you would have for them?
I think you got to start with creative. So one, it's inherently an audible platform, meaning people watch with sound on. So you have to have strong voiceovers, use sound to your advantage, create a hook, and get your brand in your creative in the first 5 seconds. What's great about a lot of our skippable formats is you have 5 seconds free. You don't get charged unless they watch the full amount. But use that 5 seconds to catch the consumer and be clear about who you are and what you're offering. So those are I would say, some of the creative best practices. Next is how you structure your campaigns. First-party data. Please use your first-party data. If you're looking to do prospecting or new customer acquisition, suppress your existing users and use your highest value users to help kickstart the AI so it can find the next value. If you're looking to re-engage existing partners, use that first-party data to go after, again, the leads or the folks that you want, to bring back to your business. And then finally, please set up a measurement strategy that really aligns to what you're looking to do. So if the goal is sales or if it's new customer acquisition, have a clear hypothesis, understand, and don't try to fit a non-standard measurement strategy. So a lot of people try to compare it to click-based search outcomes or time-lapse TV. Because obviously we know a TV ad reaches a whole lot of people at once. People have really effective time-based regressions, vice versa. It's not search, right? People aren't ready and asking the internet necessarily exactly what they want. So have an appropriate methodology when it comes to measurement.
There it is. Well, those are great tips. Just to summarize what we found in our research, YouTube is a very undervalued platform oftentimes. The impact that it has goes beyond what Google Ads even says.
Yeah.
There's a real omni-channel impact oftentimes with YouTube. And just, I will use this moment as a quick plug for a partnership that Haus has with a company called Crisp that allows the introduction of retail data and SKU level data for CPG companies to be brought into the Haus platform for omni-channel measurement. So that's the second. And then, of course, the contribution to new customer acquisition is what we found to be an observed strength of YouTube. Awesome. Well, it's been great. I want to make sure that we're cognizant of time. This has been an amazing event. As we wrap up, do you have any parting thoughts for this massive crowd?
Yeah, I mean, look at it. We're doing pretty well. I'm pretty happy.
Pretty good.
With this.
Yeah, I'll take this.
I would say start with measurement. So any platform that you're assessing, lead with measurement. Have a clear hypothesis for what you want to accomplish. Put the rigor in place. I think a lot of the times we start with the shiny things with any media, the placements, the ad formats. Understand what you're trying to get out of it. Have clarity on your measurement and work backwards as opposed to solving for measurement at the end. I think if you lead with measurement, you'll be much more effective over time.
Awesome. Again, my name is Reggie Panaligan. I'm the Enterprise GM at Haus. If you're interested in learning more, please visit haus.io or visit us in booth 454 across the Gold Bar, which has been a high traffic area. Please pay us a visit. Egan Brinkman from Google, it's been a pleasure. Thank you, my man.
My man, it's good to see you. Thank you.
Appreciate it.